Hey, I'm Mike, and this is my first Mike Checks video, which will kick off a series of shorter, but hopefully way more frequent videos on topics that maybe don't need 10 plus minutes, but definitely deserve their own video. Today, we're going to check out anti-nutrients, a very suggested topic by you all. Are they the dark side of plants, as some have suggested? And will they prevent you from getting all those nutrients, those minerals and vitamins that your body needs? We will see. Right off the bat, anti-nutrients are in virtually all foods, so don't stop eating foods for fear of anti-nutrients. Some of the most common anti-nutrients you've probably heard of are phytates, lectins, and oxalates. In particular, phytates and lectins are in grains, beans, legumes, and oxalates are mainly in spinach and other dark leafies. Low-carb blogs love to bash anti-nutrients. Your Google search on anti-nutrients will probably yield a lot of low-carb blogs telling you that beans will make you weak and other very entertaining claims like that. They appear to be the main group that is spreading fear about anti-nutrients, and they're doing it in a very inconsistent way that happens to only demonize higher carb foods. For example, nuts, which can have high anti-nutrients, totally fine because they're not high carb, and spinach, also not high carb, completely okay despite having high oxalates. And it should be made known that in many cases we have actually bred down the levels of anti-nutrients in modern agriculture, so to be true to the paleo principles, they should be eating more anti-nutrients. Alright, let's move along to the important stuff, starting with phytates, since they are usually the first on the list of anti-nutrient claims. Phytates are said to reduce absorption of iron and zinc, but it's not black and white. Looking first at iron, there is one major point that I never see making it into any of these articles, and that is that our body adapts to phytate consumption in terms of iron absorption. This study found that, yeah, we have a dip in iron absorption when we increase phytate consumption, but after a week or so, it goes back up to normal. This adaptation was not expected. And if that isn't good enough for you, you want to be really safe, eating vitamin C with your high phytate foods can cancel out that iron absorption blocking effect. This study found that 60 milligrams of vitamin C did the trick in overcoming a blast of 175 milligrams of phytate. That is just one medium orange, a half a cup of broccoli, or a quarter cup of red peppers, so it's really easy. Next to the zinc concern, the common claim you'll see around is that phytates decrease zinc absorption by 50%. And because of this, plant-based doctors have actually sometimes said to eat twice as much zinc on a vegan diet, which I did cover in a previous video, but with newer studies, this might just be overcautious. If you're coming off antibiotics, you should worry about it though, as this study found, looking at only kids coming off antibiotics, the ones on a high phytate diet absorb only 2/3 as much zinc as those on a normal phytate diet. But when that study only looked at healthy children, they found that those who had a high phytate diet actually increased their absorption of zinc and had higher blood levels of zinc than those who didn't have high phytate intake. What? To recap, in healthy subjects, higher phytates meant higher zinc. As this review mentioned, quote, "These findings cannot be explained by current phytate dogma." The answer appears to be in our gut bacteria, which can actually break down phytate to the point where it can no longer bond with zinc, that act that prevents it from being absorbed in the first place. In fact, this 2013 study, which compared vegetarians to omnivores, concluded, quote, "A diet rich in phytate increases the potential of intestinal microbiota to degrade phytate." So it is clear that your gut bacteria adapt to higher phytate consumption. But why did that group of high phytate healthy children have higher levels and higher absorption of zinc instead of just the same levels as those other healthy children with low phytate consumption? My only speculation is that the increase in phytates also means an increase in fiber and a healthier gut microbiome that is more conducive to absorption in general. Now to the flip side of phytates, as this study mentioned, phytates, quote, "may play important beneficial roles in human diets by acting as anti-carcinogens or by promoting health in other ways, such as in decreasing the risk of heart disease or diabetes. Several studies have shown that they have strong anti-cancer activity and are a DNA repair stimulant. So it's no wonder why the food most shamed for its high anti-nutrient content, legumes, are also, according to this study, the most powerful predictor of elderly survival out of any food in the world. Next, I quickly want to cover lectins. The anti-nutrient fear with lectins is that they bind to the lining of your intestine and prevent absorption of nutrients in general. But there are so many different types of lectins with so many different effects. I mean, even seafood and dairy have lectins that you really cannot generalize here. But when somebody says that the lectins in beans are a problem, it's important to note that their particular variety of lectins are destroyed during cooking. As this study demonstrated, boil soybeans for about 10 minutes and lectins are gone. And kidney beans are the highest in lectins, but it is worth noting that when you cook them, 99% of the lectins are destroyed. And again, like phytates, some plant lectins are proposed anti-cancer treatments because of their strong anti-cancer activity. Next on the list is oxalates, which are said to decrease calcium absorption. It appears that for the vast majority of foods, this is only a concern with the calcium in the oxalate-rich food itself, that it locks up its own calcium. Some oxalate-rich foods include spinach, rhubarb, and amaranth, which make up a very small portion of your diet, and oxalates are lowered through cooking anyway. This study found that boiling spinach removed about 60% of the oxalates. So it's unlikely that Popeye died of a calcium deficiency, but I would say, unless you were really dependent on spinach for your calcium, I would still eat raw spinach because of other nutrients. I also want to cover the concern of kidney stones because they are calcium oxalate crystals, but it appears that meat plays a really huge factor here because vegetarians have about half the kidney stone risk. And to prevent these stones, people are advised to eat less animal protein to alkalize their urine. Interesting points. In conclusion, no, it is not valid to be afraid of plants because of anti-nutrients. Your body adapts to increased phytate consumption in terms of iron and zinc absorption, as the studies have shown, and the benefits of these high phytate and high anti-nutrient foods like beans and legumes are extremely well documented and very positive. And if you eat a vegan diet, you should still make sure you get enough nutrients and still listen to the plant-based doctors telling you to eat a little extra nutrients just as an insurance policy. But I no longer view anti-nutrients as a negative hit against vegan diets given the nutritional research. But hey, if you think there was a devastating anti-nutrient that I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Alright, this has been Mike Checks Anti-Nutrients. Feel free to like the video, and welcome to all my new subscribers, and thank you to all of my older subscribers for not unsubscribing. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Very soon, surprisingly soon.